Am I the only one who feels like Beyond the Gates just dropped one of the biggest secret connections in the entire show and then walked away like nothing happened? Because my brain has not recovered ever since that moment with Joey and Leah. I'm serious. I have been replaying these scenes over and over, and every single time I do, the theory gets stronger. And honestly, this is the kind of storyline that makes me love this show and completely lose my sanity at the same time. Because the second Joey made that mysterious phone call and the scene immediately shifted to Leah on the phone too, I literally froze. I paused the episode. I stared at the screen like I was being personally attacked by the writers. Like, excuse me? You expect me to believe that was random? No, absolutely not. This show does not accidentally place scenes together like that. That transition was deliberate. And what makes it even crazier is the context around Leah right now. She's receiving information that someone is watching her. Somebody is getting too close. Somebody is poking around in dangerous territory. And Leah? Oh, Leah is not the kind of person who gets scared. That woman moves like ice. Calm, controlled, terrifying. The moment she realizes someone may be tracking her movements, she immediately decides she'll handle it herself. That line alone gave me chills. Because if Leah truly is connected to that horrifying plasma trafficking operation, then we are not talking about a simple criminal side plot anymore. We are talking about an empire built on fear, blood, intimidation, and silence. And Leah acts exactly like someone sitting near the top of that empire. Cold, strategic, emotionally locked down, which is why I cannot stop connecting her to Joey. And before anybody says I'm reaching, hold on, because this episode gave us something we almost never get from Joey, real emotion. Not anger, not intimidation, not that cold stare he always gives everybody. Real pain. And I swear that scene hit me harder than I expected. Joey opening that old box and pulling out Heather's letter. Oh my God. The atmosphere completely changed. For once, he didn't look powerful. He looked broken, human, lonely, and honestly, that may have been one of the best Joey scenes in the entire series because it reminded me that underneath all that ruthlessness, there's still somebody carrying years of grief. The letter from Heather destroyed me. She says goodbye before disappearing from the family. She cuts ties completely. And the reason? Their father, their cold, cruel father refused to acknowledge her, refused to truly accept her existence. Imagine growing up in a house like that. Imagine feeling so unwanted that your only choice is to disappear and never look back. That's tragic. And suddenly, Joey's bitterness toward his father makes so much more sense. This wasn't just sibling separation. This was emotional abandonment, and you can tell Joey never healed from it. That's what shocked me most. Joey, of all people, still carrying around this old letter like it's the last remaining piece of his sister. That means he rereads it. That means he memorized every word. That means this pain never left him. And can we talk about Vanessa for a second? Because wow, I actually loved her in that scene. The fact that Joey was not alone during one of his most vulnerable moments mattered so much. Vanessa comforting him instead of judging him added a softness to the episode that I didn't expect. For one tiny second, Joey didn't feel like a dangerous mastermind. He felt like a man who misses his sister so badly that he's emotionally frozen in time. And honestly, I think this might even be the anniversary of Heather leaving. That's how heavy the scene felt to me. But here's where my brain started spiraling completely out of control. You're seriously telling me that a man as powerful as Joey cannot find his own sister? Come on. This is Joey we're talking about. The man clearly has connections everywhere. Secret deals, hidden warehouses, underground operations, financial influence, surveillance networks. This man does not move like an ordinary businessman. He moves like someone who already lives in the shadows. So how has Heather remained invisible for this long? That question is exactly why I started suspecting something bigger. Because maybe Joey has been searching. Maybe he never stopped. Maybe Heather disappeared so completely because she changed her identity. And suddenly, Leah starts making terrifying amounts of sense. I know some people are probably rolling their eyes at this theory, but listen to me. The clues are there. Leah and Joey have the exact same emotional energy, that detached personality, that guarded communication style. The way both of them seem permanently prepared for betrayal, even their silence feels similar. They are both characters who reveal almost nothing unless absolutely necessary. That is not accidental writing. And then we go back to Heather's letter. She said she would build a successful future for herself. She promised they would reunite one day. What if she did? What if Heather disappeared, rebuilt herself from nothing, became someone else entirely, and returned as Leah? I am losing my mind even saying it. Because think about the irony of it. Heather leaves a cruel family environment. She reinvents herself. She survives. But survival transforms her into someone cold enough to build or help run an entire criminal empire. That is dark storytelling. And Beyond the Gates absolutely loves dark storytelling. The more I think about it, the more terrifying the possibility becomes. Leah doesn't just feel mysterious anymore. She feels emotionally disconnected in the exact way someone would after years of pain and survival. Like she trained herself never to feel weakness again. And if Leah truly is Heather, then Joey has unknowingly been circling around his own sister this entire time. That is insane. Now let's talk about the business side of this, because this is where the theory gets even crazier. Joey has all these secretive operations happening in the background. Hidden shipments, private dealings, warehouses he seems weirdly protective over. And Leah is connected to this horrifying plasma network operating like a black market empire. So what if they're already working together without realizing who the other person truly is? I mean, come on, the setup is right there. Imagine Joey receiving shipments through middlemen connected to Leah's operation. Imagine both of them building power in parallel worlds without ever meeting face to face. That would explain why the show keeps linking their scenes symbolically instead of directly. It's building tension before the explosion. And honestly, the hospital storyline suddenly feels suspicious too. Joey funding the free clinic Leslie represents? At first glance, it sounds charitable, respectable, helpful. But now, oh, I don't trust it at all. I think Joey could absolutely be using the hospital system as a money laundering operation. The writers have repeatedly shown that Joey hides his true intentions behind polished public actions. Supporting a clinic gives him legitimacy, influence, access, and potentially a way to move illegal money quietly. And if Leah's plasma trafficking operation is connected to medical networks somehow, this gets really ugly really fast. Because suddenly the clinic isn't just a clinic anymore. It becomes a gateway, a mask, a clean public face hiding something rotten underneath. And honestly, that possibility makes me sick in the best dramatic way possible because it raises the stakes for everybody. What scares me most is the emotional collision course this story seems to be building toward. Because if Leah really is Heather, then Joey and his sister may already be enemies without knowing it. Can you imagine that reveal scene? I genuinely think it could become one of the biggest moments in the entire show. Picture this. Joey finally tracks down the mysterious woman connected to these dangerous operations. He's ready for confrontation, ready for war, ready to destroy whoever has been manipulating the system from the shadows. And then it's Heather, his sister, the person he's been grieving for all these years, standing right in front of him as someone completely unrecognizable. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but I would absolutely lose my mind watching that. And the tragedy becomes even deeper because Joey clearly still loves Heather. That letter proves it. Beneath all his anger and criminal behavior, there's still this wounded brother desperately holding on to old memories. But what if Heather Leah doesn't feel the same anymore? What if she blames Joey too? Because let's be honest here. Joey may hate his father, but did he protect Heather when they were younger? Did he stand up for her? Or was he too consumed by power, fear, or survival himself? Sometimes silence becomes guilt too. And if Heather spent years believing nobody came after her, nobody saved her, then her resentment could be enormous, which means their reunion may not be emotional at first. It may be violent, and that would be peak Beyond the Gates drama. Also, can we just appreciate how layered Joey suddenly feels compared to someone like Bill? Because I have to say it, I prefer Joey's style SO much more. Bill drives me insane sometimes because he constantly talks too much. Every suspicion, every plan, every emotional reaction, he practically announces his next moves out loud like he wants people to manipulate him. And Haley absolutely used that weakness against him during their marriage. She studied him, played him, lied to him repeatedly because Bill is emotionally transparent. Joey is the opposite. Joey keeps everything hidden. He moves quietly. He doesn't share his strategy. He doesn't expose vulnerability unless it explodes out accidentally like it did with Heather's letter. That makes him far more dangerous and honestly way more compelling to watch. You never fully know what Joey is planning. And maybe that's why this emotional scene hit so hard. Because when characters like Joey finally crack emotionally, it feels important. It feels earned. I've watched this man act emotionally numb for so long that seeing genuine heartbreak underneath all that armor almost made me uncomfortable. Like we were witnessing something private we weren't supposed to see. And somehow that made me sympathize with him, even though I know he's involved in shady things. That's what this show does so well sometimes. It makes me hate a character 1 second and feel devastated for them the next. Meanwhile, Leah continues to terrify me. She's calm in the scariest possible way. The kind of person who can order somebody's downfall while speaking softly. And if she really is Heather, then wow, what a transformation. Because the little sister Joey remembers may not exist anymore. That innocent girl is gone. In her place stands somebody hardened by years of survival, secrecy, and power. And honestly, there's something deeply tragic about that. The father who rejected Heather may have indirectly created Leah. His cruelty shattered the family so completely that his daughter disappeared and potentially rebuilt herself into a criminal queen operating in the shadows. That's generational damage on an insane scale. And Joey? He became emotionally frozen and power obsessed in response to the same toxic environment. Two siblings destroyed differently by the same father. I also can't stop thinking about the symbolic timing of everything. Joey revisiting Heather's goodbye letter while Leah becomes increasingly threatened and paranoid about being watched cannot be random coincidence. The writers are paralleling them intentionally. One is searching, one is hiding, one is grieving the past, one is running from it. That parallel is too clean. And if Ren somehow enters this equation too, oh Lord, because I'm still not fully convinced Joey was the one on the phone with Leah. It absolutely could have been Ren instead, which honestly makes the whole network even more complicated. There are layers inside layers right now. Secret alliances, hidden identities, silent partnerships. Everybody feels connected through invisible strings. And I love it. This is the kind of chaotic mystery energy I've been waiting for from Beyond the Gates. Because lately the show has been balancing family drama with something much darker underneath. And this storyline feels like the point where both worlds finally collide. Family trauma, crime, identity, revenge, loss, money laundering, secret operations. It's becoming huge. And can we please talk about how emotionally cruel this future reveal could become if Joey discovers Leah's identity too late? Because imagine if he accidentally harms her operations before learning the truth. Imagine if he chooses business over mercy. Imagine if he pushes her into a corner thinking she's just another enemy. Then suddenly he learns that's his sister. The guilt alone would destroy him. But at the same time, would Leah even care anymore? That's the question haunting me most. Because Heather promised reunion in her letter, yes. But letters are written by younger versions of ourselves. Hopeful versions, softer versions. Years change people. Trauma changes people. Power changes people. Leah may not want reunion anymore. She may see Joey as part of the old world she buried long ago. And honestly, that possibility breaks my heart a little because buried underneath all the crime theories and conspiracy madness, this is still fundamentally a story about family, about siblings separated by cruelty and time, about people becoming strangers to survive. That's why I'm so emotionally invested in this theory. It's not just shocking, it's tragic. And if the writers actually pull this off correctly, this could become one of the most unforgettable arcs the show has ever done. I swear, Beyond the Gates has me sitting here connecting imaginary red strings across my room like a conspiracy detective. Every glance matters. Every transition matters. Every phone call suddenly feels suspicious. And honestly, I love being this emotionally unwell over fictional characters. Does anybody else feel the same way? Because I cannot be alone here. The moment Joey held that letter, something shifted permanently for me. Suddenly, he wasn't just another calculating figure moving pieces around a board. He became somebody haunted by unfinished love. And the moment Leah promised to handle whoever was watching her, I realized we may be looking at someone who buried Heather so deeply that even Joey himself wouldn't recognize her anymore. That is terrifying. That is heartbreaking. And that is exactly why I cannot stop watching the show.